Before we get into today's show, let me tell you about HubSpot. If you're hustling in the trenches to build a business or bootstrapping one of your own, let's talk about an AI-powered tool that can lighten up your workload a bit. HubSpot's Campaign Assistant is a game changer for creating marketing campaigns at scale. It quickly turns your key selling points into a cohesive pitch, which helps you deliver knockout emails, ads, and landing pages in minutes. So let Campaign Assistant take care of the campaigns so you can get back to growing your business. Work smarter, not harder at HubSpot.com/campaign-assistant.
Howdy, folks. It is Thursday, October 13th. I'm Jacob Cohen here with Juliet, Bennett, Rylah, and you are listening to The Hustle Daily Show. So today we're going to be talking about a wide range of things, from a wild interview Joe Rogan just did with Steve Jobs that was entirely generated with artificial intelligence, plus some other news in the AI space. We're also going to talk about TikTok's strategy as a business right now. Other big tech companies have spent the last 2 years copying it, and now the tables have turned, the turns have tabled, and TikTok's starting to do the same towards them. But before we get into that, let's take a quick look at what else is going on in the business and tech world. Let's get crack-lacking. All right, first things first, Microsoft announced Designer, basically their alternative to Canva, with also text-to-image AI image generation to come. They also announced Teams Premium, which is going to have features like meeting recaps and live translations. Moving along, Apple is reportedly preparing a push into TV advertising in which it would monetize Apple TV Plus content with ads. You probably have some feelings on this.
You know, here's the thing about Apple TV. I was having this conversation not 10 minutes ago. Apple TV has a lot of good content on it. I think it had some really big hits this year, Severance being one of them. The problem with Apple TV for me is not, does it have ads? Does it not have ads? It's that it never remembers that you're logged in. Every single time you got to re-log in, then you got to find another device. I don't have, that's my computer. Like, I don't have an iPhone. I got to go find that. I got to turn that on. And the end result is I just never watch Apple TV, even though for me, I think it's bundled in with AMC, which also has good content. So I would say, Apple, fix your login, and then I will care about ads.
Okay, well, that is a good point. Yes, Apple, before you focus on building out ads, maybe focus on the login. But I do think this is part of a larger move from Apple to monetize all these apps, right? Not just Apple TV, but Apple Maps, Apple Music, Stocks, News, Books. We've discussed this a lot in the past. They basically have these massive platforms used by hundreds of millions of people that are not monetized. And we're going to see them monetize these with ads, and probably with Maps first. And like how you'd see ads on Google Maps, you know, very lucrative space.
Yeah.
Anyway, some beef news. Subway, fresh off a tuna controversy we've discussed, reported record sales up 8.4% in Q3 at stores that have been open for over a year. Also, a judge decided that an Arkansas law banning plant-based meat from using words in marketing like burger or hot dog is unconstitutional. How about that? Fair. I agree. Fair. I think that's fair. Yeah.
I mean,
at this point.
if you want a veggie burger or a veggie hot dog, you're basically just saying, I would like vegetables compressed into this shape. And I feel like veggie hot dog makes more sense to me than veggie cylinder.
Right. Veggie cylinder, veggie wiener. It's like, just let them be a hot dog.
Yes.
All right. And to the moon, Japanese space company iSpace will launch 2 rovers to the moon next month. That's the plan. Meanwhile, it's also looking like NASA and SpaceX may actually be helping Tom Cruise fly to space and do a spacewalk outside the ISS for a new movie that's in the works that is very Tom Cruise of Tom Cruise. Also, interestingly, marmalade sales are up around 20% since Queen Elizabeth II's death due to mourners leaving sandwiches outside as tributes. I think that's very interesting. And lastly, some AI news. This was going around. I listened to it. Maybe you have an AI Joe Rogan interviewing an AI Steve Jobs for like half an hour, a podcast basically, put together by this company called Play HT. It's a startup in the text to voice generation AI space. It's cool, but it's scary stuff. And they're letting you vote now on future episodes, like a conversation between Buddha and Einstein. Have you listened to that yet?
No. And you know what? I'm probably not going to, but...
Understandable. But you actually, in related news, you wrote about some AI news today. What's the deal with this guy, Greg Rakowski?
Yes, this was very interesting to me. So this has everything to do with AI-generated artwork, which the platform in particular, Stable Diffusion, a lot of you have probably used it. I know I have used it a few times. It's fun, right? You type anything into a prompt and it comes back with an image. You're like, a cat wearing a hat. Oh, cool. Here's like 4 cats wearing hats that have been whipped up by AI. Well, apparently what is happening is there's this artist called Greg Rakowski. He is a Polish illustrator. He does a lot of fantasy landscapes. His work has appeared in the video game Horizon Forbidden West, Dungeons & Dragons, Magic the Gathering, stuff like that. Now, according to MIT Technology Review, he is just like the most common prompt on the Stable Diffusion site. He has been used as a prompt over 93,000 times. And to put that in context, other artists like Pablo Picasso, Vincent van Gogh, they're getting a fraction of that, maybe 1,000 views, if that. I actually searched for the word cat because I feel like cats come up a lot. And that only had 16.8 thousand images. Like that,
wow.
Like so much fewer, so like much fewer than this artist. And he is not a fan. He's not happy with it at all because, I mean, if you think about it, it's like, yeah, at what point is AI going to be able to reproduce his work to a point of accuracy where someone might say, oh, I was going to hire this guy and pay him money, but now I'll just have a bot do it. On top of that, there's a bunch of work now flooding the internet that's being credited to him, but it wasn't him at all. It was this AI. So that's kind of a big thing for artists is like, is their work going to go away because bots can do it? And you know, as Rakowski was saying, this could not only decrease human creativity because you just be like, internet, make me this. But he also worries about the future of art education. Like, what's the point of going to school for art and learning these techniques if a bot's just going to do it for you? So lots of controversy in the AI space.
Yes.
I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. I mean, last month we had a guy who won an arts competition with AI generated art, and there was a big debate. Is that fair? Is that not fair? So I think we're going to be hearing about this for a while. Okay, so Jacob, today we're talking about TikTok. Everyone's been copying TikTok, and now it is TikTok's turn to copy everybody else.
That is correct. Over the last couple of years, I think we've all seen companies basically take being more like TikTok and pasting that at the top of their desks as like, you know, the reminder for themselves every day is their like go-to business strategy. Just be more like TikTok, be more like TikTok. We've seen them scramble to embed carbon copies basically of TikTok's defining features, vertically scrolling videos. We've seen Amazon try TikTok-like shopping feed and expand its kind of live stream shopping video efforts. The interesting thing now is TikTok itself, as these companies are forging ahead, is flipping this trend on its head and laying the groundwork for features that are going to rival these very companies, Google, Amazon, Spotify, and potentially more. So how exactly is TikTok doing this? Where are they looking to grow? Well, for now, I think TikTok is particularly well positioned to move into 3 areas. The first being search engines. So Google has literally said it themselves a couple of months ago. The head of Google search came out and publicly said, young people are using TikTok more and more than Google now to find things like places to eat, places to go, things to do. And TikTok knows that, and they're leaning into that and deepening their search functionality, offering new kinds of search features to work as a search platform. So if you go on TikTok and you want to find a place to eat, you can search places to eat in LA, places to eat in this neighborhood in Boston. And it's much more engaging and interactive and useful even than doing the same thing on Google where you'll get, you know, like Yelp results.
Right.
And so they're really leaning into that kind of search functionality. The second area, I think very clearly, perhaps the most clearly, is music. I think this is a crazy stat, 63% of TikTok users discover new music on TikTok before any other platform, which is pretty wild because it's not a music platform as is.
Right.
And obviously a lot of music now gets popular there. And they're in talks now with music labels to expand globally there and kind of remove themselves from this middleman position, take Spotify out of the picture, stop sending people to Spotify to listen to music, and just have people listen to music in their own platform. A humongous opportunity. And then, of course, the third area is commerce, because that's where the money is, right? And earlier this week, Axios reported that TikTok is launching product fulfillment centers, for physical products. A lot of people discover interesting little products on TikTok, or people sell their products on TikTok, and small businesses and brands. And TikTok wants more and more of that change. And so they're going to be launching, apparently, physical product fulfillment centers, which is putting Amazon directly in its site. So all this is to say is all these companies have focused on copying TikTok and copying TikTok and copying TikTok. TikTok is now in a position where it's going to start to copy all these apps and all their, and the things that made them so successful. So I think it's going to be a really interesting road ahead. And bada bing, bada boom, that is going to do it for us today, folks. Thanks for tuning in to the Hustle Daily Show. We are a proud part of the HubSpot Podcast Network. Our editor today is Ezra Trupiano. Our executive producer is Darren Clark. We've got a lot more tech and business coverage in our newsletter. So if you're not subscribed, go get yourself subscribed at thehustle.co/email. Hope you have a terrific Thursday, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Hey guys, if you listen to the Hustle Daily Show on Google Podcasts, we want to let you know that the option will no longer be available pretty soon. Google is sunsetting its podcast app sometime in early 2024 in favor of YouTube Music, and we want to give you a heads up before it's too late, since that time's almost here. The Hustle Daily Show is available everywhere and anywhere that you listen to podcasts, like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you're using YouTube Music, we are there as well. If you're an Android fan, there are plenty of apps like Overcast, Pocket Casts, Player FM, and more. So just search for us wherever you decide to listen to your favorite podcasts.